Hey everyone, Tankenstein here. In this video, I'll be giving you some quick tips and tricks for how to best complete crafting events. I actually have another video on this same topic, but it's not as applicable to all crafting events like this video is. That said, please like, comment, and subscribe for more content, but either way, let's get into it. And so it kind of depends on how you look at it, but in this video, I basically got 3 big tips with many small tips peppered in between. So the first of these big tips is don't buy materials or, worse yet, reward vehicles near the beginning of the crafting event. They will be extremely overpriced, and it's important to remember that the top 2 reward vehicles are not premium vehicles, so you will not be earning extra SL or RP from them. Typically, wait until materials come down in price over a minimum of 2 to 3 days, and regular materials should typically cost around 0.1 or 0.2 GJN, whereas checks, in this case checks, but really anything that counts towards speeding up the production of the vehicle, depending on the quality of course, whether it's the small or the large version of that, should likely be in between 1 and 8 GJN at the very highest. Technical manuals, in this case, however, it could be anything else. Typically, this is going to be the secondary thing that you earn from crafting events, will also be overpriced right at the very beginning, likely starting above 30 GJN. Do not buy these until they're in between 4 and 8 GJN at the very most. Unless you have an absolute need to use them at the end of the event in order to craft your vehicle so that you can get it done in time, I wouldn't really recommend buying checks or, again, anything that helps to speed up the production of the crafting vehicle. Unless you're desperate, have money to burn, or are quite literally addicted to War Thunder, speeding up the process of building export orders is totally useless. Even in those scenarios, it's still totally useless, and if you're addicted to War Thunder, try something else like Diablo 2 Resurrected, which I'll be playing, or Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Also, don't overbuy one item unless you're 100% sure that you'll be using all of it. Otherwise, it'll end up being a total waste of money. Finally, one important thing to know about the marketplace is that if you're looking to sell materials on the marketplace, it takes 2 of any one type of material to turn it into a marketplace ready item. If you buy a marketplace item, it will then convert to only one of the item that was used to convert it into. So in short, 2 items convert into one marketplace ready item, and when you buy that marketplace ready item and convert it into a usable item, it turns into only one of the version of whatever that material might be, not 2. So you put 2 in and you always get 1 out. Now second, this is somewhat of a take on a previous tip I'd given in another video, but use Naval or just whatever it is that you have the most fun with. I say to play Naval because the requirement to get materials is to have 10 minutes at 50% plus activity. That's the general requirement amongst all crafting events. If crafting events required a higher activity percentage, I would say to avoid Naval outright, but between the long match times and typically the good enough engagement or activity in a match, Naval presents a viable option to get 2 or sometimes 3 material crates, and in this case, technical document rewards per match. But again, technical documents or whatever the case may be, it's whatever that other type of reward would be. Just make sure that you're using a tier 3 or higher vehicle, otherwise it will not count. This counts for every single type of vehicle, whether it's air, ground, or naval. Ultimately, just make sure that you're having fun with whatever it is that you decide to use, as playing a game in a way that you do not enjoy ends up becoming a job. If you're struggling with having enough Silver Lions, use a fun premium vehicle of rank 3 or above in order to best accomplish the tasks at hand. If nothing else, you'll at least be able to make your gameplay somewhat lucrative, and you'll be able to earn some more vehicles in the various tech trees that you might be playing. And finally, and arguably most importantly, do not stress yourself out over how much time might be enough to play in order to get whatever rewards you want. Now, while the first reward, in this case the Panzerbilt, though it could be anything in future crafting events, as this guide will still be relevant to those, can likely be achieved with purely casual play, so long of course as you play with some level of consistency. The upper level rewards, especially in this case the Leopard 2 prototype and the F5A, will require heavier play. Again, this guide is relevant for all crafting events regardless of what rewards I'm mentioning now. Remember, it does not take skill to earn the crafting materials, it just takes time and effort. Even if you're playing terribly for weeks on end, so long as you have that 50% activity rating with tier 3 or higher vehicles, you'll do well. Being that crafting events typically last 10 to 12 days, you should probably be prepared to play at least 1.5 to 3 hours of matches per day for the entire time in order to definitely unlock the top level rewards. It gets a little bit easier if you buy some marketplace items, but realistically speaking, I'd say around 1.5 to 3 hours, probably closer to 3. Bear in mind that in order to unlock these top level rewards, you have to save up numerous of the crafted items that you can create at the end of the 3 crafting trees. The items that I'm talking about are the ones that take between 1 and 12 hours to complete. In this current crafting event, I'm talking about expert orders, which then turn into 125,000 crowns each, but the name of that item really doesn't matter as they all function the same and you pretty much get to them in the same exact way. Now, it's important to realize that these pretty much act like currency where you can use them in exchange for buying vehicles. Now, for example, if you spend 125,000 crowns on, in this case, the Panzerbill, you now have 0 crowns. So it's not like you get to unlock the Panzerbill and then you still have your 125,000 crowns and then you can get the tribal and then you can get the 2 top level rewards. It's not that simple, unfortunately. If you spend, let's say, 250,000 on the tribal class destroyer or whatever naval reward it is, whatever the level 2 reward is, now all of a sudden you have 0 of whatever item that it is that the crafting event is having you earn. So it's really important to realize that, because if you are deciding that you want the top level reward and you decide to spend it early on something a little bit lower level, then it'll be a lot tougher to get that top level reward. Now, with all that said, I think that getting 4 total export orders is not unreasonable without buying too many things from the marketplace, all while not being completely dedicated to this game for about 2 weeks, or really the 10 to 12 days that these crafting events typically take. If you're looking to unlock both of the top rewards totally for free, be prepared to easily play 5 to 6 hours every day for the entirety of the crafting event. It is no joke. You will become a slave to the game, and to be honest with you, they're probably going to be selling for around 50 to 60, maybe 70 GJN each, at least initially. So if you don't think that your time is worth it, then you may as well wait, or at least partially buy the materials in order to get to them to make your time a little bit easier. I know that's what I'm going to be doing, but then again, I spend a lot of my time making YouTube videos, so I quite literally do not have the time to be playing this game as much as I otherwise would. And just one final thing to know, if you are a new player, so this really isn't a tip, more advice. If you're a new player and you're looking to get yourself into top tier battles really easy without actually working your way up there through the regular tech tree, trust me, it's not going to be easy. I mean, of course, go for whatever vehicles you want. But for example, in the most recent, or one of the most recent crafting events, the F4F early was the top tier reward for air. And I saw a ton of people get into it and a ton of people die. I did not see anyone get a single kill with the F4F early for a 1.5 to 2 full months of gameplay. So it's not easy. You know, it's not that the vehicles necessarily are very difficult to fly or pilot, but rather it's that the players around you are that much better and they will know every trick in the book by the time that they reach that level. So just really consider what you're doing. Of course, definitely have as much of a good time as you can. You know, I personally, if I was a low level player, I'd probably be getting those top tier vehicles, but just know what you're getting into. But that being said, thanks so much for watching, everyone. Please like, comment, subscribe. You know the dealio. Everything really matters. Subscribe if you want. You know, it really means the world to me. But either way, thanks again, everyone, and I will see you all on the other side. Take care, everyone.